Good governance underpins every successful economy. It's vitally needed. We need to promote and embrace the laws that essentially promote good governance, transparency, the systems that promote that. It's essential at this point in time that we have a public sector that's vitally transparent, that we continue in the theme of good governance. Regrettably, we've seen in recent times where we've had a number of issues as it relates to issues of transparency. We've had a number of scandals, scandal after scandal. We've had a number of these things in the fore that regrettably have only eroded the reputation of this country. It's essential that we certainly return the country back to a system of good governance and transparency to one side. I'm fully committed to embracing and committing myself to supporting an FOI, the Office of the Complaints Commissioner. FOIs are essential. I'm fully committed in ensuring that we embrace the commissions and standards of public life as recently introduced under the new Constitution. I'm fully committed in ensuring that we follow through with the implementation of one man, one vote. I believe that will create greater accountability of our elected officials. These are much needed in today, and regrettably, in order for us to have a successful economy, we have to embrace these things in order to do just that. Our tourism product is certainly struggling. We have a lot of work to do in that area. It's important that we create a tourism product that's going to ensure that the country continues to grow. It's going to continue to promote a good and sensible economy that Caymanians can benefit from that growth in that sector. We want to make sure that we're also going to embrace opportunities for Caymanians, not only to have gainful employment, but also that they're adequately paid as well. We understand that the cost of living today in this country is extremely high, and we want to make sure that when we do these things, that clearly they're going to be a benefit for all of us. One last thing I'd like to add to that as well, too. Regrettably, we've heard a lot of excuses as far as the global economy, if you will, as to why we're in this kind of failing position. And the truth of the matter is, we have an opportunity, and we have an opportunity to get it right. But it's pivotal we do so at this juncture in this election, because it's currently where we stand. If we don't correct a lot of these problems, regretfully, I think the next 4 to 8 years we can be in a dire situation. So we need to get it right this go around. There's an issue as it relates to families in this country. We need to reduce the pressure off of family budgets. Like I said initially, we need to improve the opportunities for Caymanians. We've seen that government essentially has overspent. We've seen government continuing to increase taxes on families, on citizens. We've seen the additional cost for local businesses because government is trying to make up that lost revenue. We need to get to a situation where government is now fiscally more responsible, and they're in a better position to operate, and they're subscribing to a plan of proper fiscal management will eliminate a lot of that, a lot of those problems that local families are seeing. I guess carrying on, if you will, what we need to do, as well as we need to embrace a lot of the private public sector initiatives that are being called for, such as the enhancement of the cruise tourism, the enhancement of the cruise berthing facility, the development of the airport as well. We need to certainly look at that, because in order for us, going back to the previous question, in order for us to improve our tourism product, we got to have long haul flights. Currently, the current situation of our airport is not one that bodes well with that type of long-term objective when it comes, as it relates to tourism-related policy position, if you will. So we need to do these things. When when people are casting their vote, they're going to make this type of decision, that they're not doing it on the basis of party lines, and not looking at it from a situation, whether it's party or whether it's independent. We need to be looking at, from a voter's perspective, we need to be looking at it, you know, on solely on the issues. And as far as I'm concerned, the issues in this country are far too grave for us not to be thinking along those lines. It's important we embrace candidates who understand the hardships of a lot of local families. We embrace candidates who are going to take on a position of as I alluded to earlier, good governance, transparency. We need to ensure that the candidates understand the struggles of the average Cayman family. A candidate who's going to certainly promote a bit more of this inclusive mentality, where we're bringing the private sector back to the fore. We're going to embrace that type of thinking, because we're in tough and difficult times, and we want to make sure that accountability is there, the integrity is there, and those are essential for any candidate, and this is what the public needs to be looking at, and not a question of whether independent or whether party. I come from a family of small business owners, myself being a small business owner. I understand the difficulties in doing business in this country. I understand the hardships that families endure. And it's important as a candidate, you have that understanding. And I think, regrettably, I think a lot of people need to understand that it's imperative that the person that they vote for, that particularly myself, if they're going to entrust me with their vote, I understand their plight and their hardship, and I do, and I've been there, and I walk, you know, I've walked that path. But I also understand that it's important, if we're to be successful as a country, if our people are to continue to be able to share this economic opportunity, and we will again, but we have to prepare for that ultimately the people that we have leading the charge, and hopefully such as myself, understand these issues in the kind of the broad sense, and there is a connection, and I believe I do have that connection. I do believe I have that. I understand the plight of the average person. I understand what it means to return this country back to the economic prosperity we once had, and I understand the importance of ensuring that all Caymanians are able to participate in this economic opportunity.